But speaking of the Jets, though, man, we can go ahead and get into it. The Jets went to London along with Minnesota. Um, I started Sam Darnold in my fantasy. I went over it, mulled over it all night and day. And Sam Darnold finally went out there and had a terrible game, probably because I started him in fantasy. So that's probably my fault. Uh, that being that being said, I was all in on don't bet against Minnesota. I took Minnesota minus the 2.5. Minnesota covered. I didn't see a whole lot of the game. I'll let you go ahead and speak on it.
Yeah, man. I saw bits and pieces of the game. Sam Darnold he played better than Brett. I was about to say Brett Favre. He played better than Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean, he did enough to win that game. Uh, and the Jets defense didn't really look all that good, man. The Jets are supposed to be like one of the best defenses in football, and they just didn't look like it against Minnesota. I don't know if that to credit that to Minnesota's offense or to the Jets not playing up to their standards. Minnesota's line. I'm not sure where Minnesota's offensive line ranks in the NFL, but they were pushing the Jets around like they weren't even there. They were running the ball. Even Aaron Jones was hurt, and they were still running the ball like what I'm saying, with no problem at all. Sam Darnold was hitting Justin Jefferson uh, so easily, and then on the flip side of that, you got Aaron Rodgers throwing pickoffs and his receivers just not like I said. Some of them balls were on the money. They just not catching it. So that game was a good game, but it was a mess, man.
You know what it sounds like to me?
What's that?
Sounds like a physical team went up against a finesse team. Um, yeah, man. I mean, like I said, yeah, their defense. I'm with you. Their defense has gotten a lot of publicity and praise, but at the end of the day, obviously Sauce Gardner, one of the best corners in the league, and Quentin Williams is supposed to be good, but yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot from their defense, and I feel like they haven't really played a whole lot of great teams at that either. Indianapolis went
Yeah,
to Jack.
man. Well, go
Jack.
ahead. What you say?
Oh no, I was gonna say I was gonna go to the
No,
next game.
oh yeah. You can go to the next game. I was only gonna say I made a mistake picking the Jets. I won't. I'm I'm not sure how I'm not sure how I feel about the Jets, but I won't pick them as easily next time.
All right, Indianapolis went to Jacksonville. You took Indy. I took Jacksonville minus the 3. Uh, you know, Jacksonville did win, but they only won by 3. So I gave us both credit for that game. Um, I felt like Jacksonville was due for a win. Like I said, I thought last week. Well, I thought 2 weeks ago when Buffalo blew them out on Monday night, I thought they was about to lay down, and Doug Peterson would have been the first coach fired this year. But no, last week they showed up. I think they play Indy this week. I forgot who they played last week, but they showed up and they put up a fight. And I said I took them this week, and they went out there and they made me proud and at least got the W. I wish they would have won by one more point, but they got the W.
Yeah, man. Jacksonville surprised me. When I was looking at the score of that game, I was like, "Oh man, Jacksonville hanging in there." I did not expect that. All year they've been laying down. They've been rolling over for teams, and Indy came in there. Maybe Indy does need Anthony Richardson in there. I don't know. But you did mention Jonathan Taylor wasn't playing, so maybe that was a factor of that. Maybe that came into play. They're missing Anthony Richardson. I can't see Anthony Richardson making that big of a difference. Not now anyway, but I can see Jonathan Taylor making a big difference, and maybe that was the factor. So yeah, man. I still don't have any faith in Jacksonville going forward. Not at all.
Yeah, I still think Doug Peterson is getting fired, but Jacksonville, in my opinion, has the second best rookie of the class so far in Brian Thomas Jr., dangerous wide receiver. Um, Buffalo went to Houston. Houston was given 1.5. We both believed in Buffalo coming back, looking for revenge for their loss. We failed to mention it uh, going in, but this was the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs uh, death match, and Stephon Diggs at this point walked away with the last laugh.
Yeah, man. I so Buffalo was hot. No, you because normally I would have picked the Texans to win this game. The only reason I picked Buffalo was because they were hot and Joe Mixon wasn't playing. But the Houston that I expected to see all season showed up for this game, and they showed out. I don't know if they were inspired because of Stephon Diggs, but this is the Texans that I expected to see all year long. And I have they've been missing in action for the last 2 weeks, and but they showed up today, man. And you know what I'm saying, it was surprising to see uh, how uh, how Buffalo just laid an egg like that. But I believe in Texans. I feel like the Texans are going to have a really good season if they can keep this play up, and especially when they get Joe Mixon back. I also don't expect Buffalo to lay an egg to continue to lay eggs like they've been doing the last 2 weeks either. Both of these teams will go far, but you know what I'm saying, it's just sometimes it's what team shows up that week, and Houston showed up this week.
Yeah, I feel like it was. I feel like Houston played the football they've been playing for the past couple weeks without Joe Mixon, which is slightly above average football. We still haven't seen CJ Stroud. Um, he was a rookie last year, but I almost wanted to say vintage CJ Stroud. We still haven't seen the crazy 400-yard, 5 touchdown games. Nothing even close to that, except for maybe week one. I know he had a good game week one, but we still waiting to see that. On the flip side, yeah, Buffalo is struggling right now. Like you said, they started the season off hot, but they went to Baltimore and they definitely laid an egg in Baltimore. They put up a fight in this game, but you know it's kind of early for them to be running out of gas the way they looking right now. So you imagine that they get it together at some point, but yeah, they I think it's more so Buffalo struggling than it is Houston dominating.
Yeah, we haven't seen, like I said, Joe Mixon was there for that first game, and for game one, that's when we seen CJ Stroud at his best. I feel like when they get their running game back, their passing game will open up. Like
I feel you. To counter that, I would say though I don't even can't even remember who their running back was last year, and he did all that without him.
they had a pretty decent running back last year. I can't remember who it was. He
Did
wasn't
they?
Joe Mixon. He wasn't Joe Mixon, but he was decent. I can't remember. He he was okay.
Nah,
He was
I almost want to say he's still on the team. I know they had a rookie that they kind of wrote because I remember I picked him up in fantasy, but I think somewhere they picked up somebody else. But I don't think they ever had a household name in running back last year.
mm. Well, we'll
But
see what happened. We'll see what happened going forward.
definitely. Uh, well, Baltimore went to Cincinnati. Cincinnati was given. Oh, I'm sorry. Cincinnati was getting 2.5 at home, and we both said that we got to ride with Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, man. Baltimore looks like they got they um they're starting to look they're not there yet, but they're starting to look like the Baltimore of old. They're starting to look like the Baltimore that was playing last year. Uh, Lamar Jackson made one of the craziest plays of the season, and Cincinnati continues to find ways to lose games. Man, they play a really good game for 4 quarters, and then when it comes down to clutch time, the moment of truth to win the game, they just don't have what's in them to get them over the hump. It's looking like that's what their season is going to look like all season long. They're going to fight hard, and then when the moment comes down to it, they're going to find a way to lose that game.
Uh, our picks were pretty similar this week, but our outlooks on the results are pretty different. Um, I feel like Cincinnati started the year off bad, and I always held firm that Jamar Chase is their best receiver, but for whatever reason, they play so much better when they got T. Higgins out there. And T. Higgins has been playing now, and this is like his second or third game back. And I know he had 2 touchdowns. I don't know what his yardage was, but he had 2 touchdowns. He's honestly Joe Burrow's. He's the safety net for Joe Burrow, and it showed. Like you said, Cincinnati was right there. They had opportunity to win the game. They choked it away. But that being said, the football they're playing right now is against most teams is winning football in my opinion, and I think their season is gonna eventually start to get right. I just think that their schedule right now is not favorable at all. They play some pretty good teams. You know, they got gifted Carolina in there, but once their schedule lightens up, I think they'll have a better chance of getting some wins.
Yeah, maybe, man. I don't know. They just don't look like they got that killer instinct right now. But like you said, man, they are playing good. I do not deny that they're playing good. But Lamar Jackson threw 4 touchdowns, Joe Burrow threw 5 touchdowns, and they still lost. So
Uh, Next up, we got where to go. Next up, we got Cleveland going to Washington. Uh, I put faith in Cleveland's defense. It did not matter. You took Washington minus the 3. Jaden Daniels, head of the pack for rookie of the year right now.
yeah, man. Jaden Daniels has been impressing me the last couple of weeks, man. And I just couldn't see myself picking against him. Excuse me, especially
My bad.
especially against.
Real quick, man. I go to ESPN NFL. And, the headline is "Turn the page on Week 6. The Bengals might be toast." Oh, and Devontae Adams cannot save the Jets.
Oh wow, wow. Yeah, man. We got an interesting year in football, man. The NFL is all over the place, man. Like, if I was to tell you, like, usually I can tell you what teams I can see in the Super Bowl. This year, man, it's a twenty. It's a coin toss, man. It could be anybody. It's Russian roulette out there.
And right before we go back into the watch the Commanders and the Browns, Cincinnati's next 3 games are at the Giants, at the Browns, and home against the Eagles. So I think the schedule's lightening up.
Well, with that type of schedule, I agree with you. Cincinnati has a chance to turn it around. You know what I'm
We'll,
saying?
we'll,
But
we'll even throw the Raiders after the Eagles, and I expect them to go 3-1. Anything else, I would say I'll be worried as a Bengals fan.
yeah, I mean that they have every opportunity to get it, but that sounds to me like the NFL is setting them up for failure. Um, yeah, they go. Let's say they go 3-1. They go 3-1 these next couple of weeks. What's that put them at? Like
About 500.
yeah, about 500, and then they end off the season with you know some because they got to play in their division again, so they got some more rough games coming around the bend. So does
They
that
got
put them?
they, they got one more game against Baltimore. And I mean, are you really, we talk about Mike Tomlin all the time, but should you really be that afraid of the Steelers or the Browns?
No, I'm not scared of the Browns. The Steelers, yeah, and I mean the Steelers are. You never know what you're gonna get with the Steelers, man. They could come out
I was,
and
I was about to say we'll talk about that confidence a little bit later, but yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, I mean, you could get lights out defense, and Justin Fields could run for 100 yards, or they could just be like, you know what, I don't really feel like playing today.
We're gonna
But
get
like you
into
said,
it.
we get to
We'll
it
get
later.
into it. Yeah, but you were saying about Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, no, man, he showed remarkable talent, man. Um, the passes he's been making and the running he's been doing. I think I saw a graphic yesterday that said that he is the first candidate since damn, I can't think of who it is. I think it was one of the Jets. Anyway, he's the first candidate since like the '60s to be a rookie that's being considered for MVP. So with the yards and the runner yards that he has, so yeah, man, it's hard to bet against him right now.
Yeah, I can't even remember the stat. I think it was something like he's had more scoring drives than he's had incompletions or something like that. But no, he's playing out of his mind right now. And it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. Like I said, usually I put a lot of stock into the Heisman winner coming into the NFL, but for whatever reason, I didn't put much stock into Jaden Daniels. Like I said, it's probably because I didn't get to watch him a whole lot. But you know, people that did watch him, I'm sure it's not that much of a surprise to them.
Yeah, man, he's out there playing lights out, man, and I expected him to be good because I didn't get a chance to watch him a whole lot in college, but what I did see was pretty good, and I heard a lot about him, and but I just thought it was going to take a minute for him to get going. But I mean, he's hit the ground running. So
Yeah, 2 years in a row where the second QB is turning out to be the best one.
yeah,
Uh, Miami went to New England. This was like you said, this was a coin toss of a game. Uh, I went with
uh,
Miami on the strength of Tyler Huntley and the Dolphins couldn't play as bad as they did on that Monday Night Football game, and you went with the Patriots for some reason. But
I,
it was a coin toss. So, yeah, what?
I went with the Patriots because you want them with Miami.
Oh,
It could
okay.
have went either way.
It could win either way. Miami pulled that one out. Still look terrible. Patriots still look bad. Why? What? They got me stuttering, man. Why won't they go to Drake May?
Bad coaching, man. I've seen a lot of bad coaching this year for some reason. Coaches, I don't know. They've been making like a lot of bad decisions, man. And I mean, you're losing. What do you got to? You're already losing. What do you have to lose?
I couldn't tell you. Maybe Robert Sala ends up there. I wouldn't recommend it, but at the same time, New England is built physically. You would be in division with the Jets, so you can get some revenge. And they do have one of the best up and coming cornerbacks in the league in Christian Gonzalez. Uh,
Um, Drake Mave might come in at the very tail end of the season and turn that season around, and it's going to be way too late.
yeah. I agree. They did just bring back arguably their best pass catcher from the injury from the pup list. So Kendrick Bourne, he's a smaller size player, but he's quick and got good hands. So maybe they let him get a little bit acclimated, and then they bring in Drake May. That's kind of what I'm hoping. Uh, Carolina went to Chicago. We was both on Carolina. I said that Chicago was given 4. I said that might as well be 10. Well, actually, Chicago went out there and dropped like 30 points on Carolina. So I guess guess they got the offense figured out in that game.
Is it that they got their offense figured out, or is it that Carolina is just so bad that anybody can score 30 points on them?
Well, it was the it was it was another soap opera game in that the Panthers get to see Caleb Williams come in. They went and got Bryce Young, and they threw in DJ Moore. All of that mixed together, and it all resulted in Chicago destroying them. DJ Moore and Caleb Williams was on the same page. Caleb Williams was out here scrambling. It was a great game for them. Is it sustainable? Yeah, I'm with you. I can't say for sure that it's sustainable. We would there. Let's see what we got. Well, they got a great opportunity to show. Oh no, I take that back. Oh no. Okay, so their next 3 games will be interesting. They have Chicago's got Jackson. They're home against Jacksonville. They're going to Washington. That should be a fun game. And then they're at the Cardinals. So and then they got the Patriots. So that's 4 games to show that your offense is average.
The games that you just said sound like 1 and 3 to me.
Washington is a loss. Jacksonville is not a loss. Looks like it's in London though. It's at 9:30. Cardinals is a coin flip, and Patriots should be a win. So no, I say 2-2, or I guess it could be 1-3, but I'll side more on 2-2, 2-2.
Um, while we on the subject, so uh, the Panthers come out and your number one draft pick looks horrible. Andy, you bench him, you put in Andy Dalton. He comes out, he immediately looks great, and then for the next 2 weeks, he does nothing at all. What do you do with Bryce Young? Do you give him another chance? Do you start looking for anybody interested? Do you stick with Andy Dalton? I mean, either way, you're losing. Well, where do you go?
Now I feel like they have no options on the table other than to ride it out. There's no real reason to go back to Bryce Young right now. There's no reason to bench Andy Dalton right now, so you just keep trotting Andy Dalton out there and let Bryce Young. Bryce Young came in at the end of the game for mop up duty, and you just you put that carrot in front of him, and hopefully that starts to trigger some things and make him want to go back out there. But at this point, no, you hide him. You hide him on that bench, and you let Andy Dalton continue to go out there and finish his career out. And then when you have no choice, you go back to Bryce Young. But the market for Bryce Young is you can't trade your best player can't trade your best receiver. I should say you can't trade your best receiver, give up all those picks, and then turn around and trade that player for a third.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I mean, well, I get what you're saying. I mean, I'm just saying same way I feel like that with Drake Mave, man. Let him get the snaps. Why not?
Oh no, I mean the why not? The why not? Because he's already broken. So like you gotta like rebuild him, and it's probably and I mean to your point, in the long run, it's probably not gonna work. But it's either rebuild him or put him out there and let him continue to crumble. I mean, on
Yeah,
the I mean, I feel like on your plan, you're going off of the off chance that being out there, something finally starts to click. But I think he gets injured before something clicks.
yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
Uh,
What's today's game?
Arizona went to San Francisco. Uh, wow, we was both on San Francisco. San Francisco -7, and another. Arizona could thank me because I benched Kyler Murray, and he went out there and had a spectacular game, and they somehow messed around and beat the 49ers.
I love that the league revolves around your fantasy football.
I don't know how they do it, man.
uh, we all knew that. We all knew that the Arizona's a good team, man. But they're just one of those. They are what they've always been, man. They're one of those hit and miss teams. Sometimes they're gonna be good. Sometimes they're gonna be bad. I mean, it's just what I'm saying. Any given Sunday with Arizona. I mean, some days they're gonna show up and they're gonna look amazing, and some days it's not. They're just a team you can't count on, man. So we knew they weren't bad. We knew they weren't a bad team, but it's just I guess they showed up to play that day. Kyler Murray was running around. I think he had like 50 or 60 yards rushing. You know what I'm saying? Good game for them. We both know that San Francisco is the better team, but just the Cardinals showed up to play that day.
Everything. I would say that the Cardinals are not a good team. I would say that they're an average team. And everything you said, where you said the Arizona Cardinals, I would just cut that out and I would paste Kyler Murray. I would say we know Kyler Murray. We know Kyler Murray is not a bad quarterback. We know that he is a good quarterback. But like you said, it just depends on who wants to show up that day. Is it good Kyler or is it bad Kyler? And when good Kyler shows up, they are a good team. And when bad Kyler shows up, they are average and to below average team, in my opinion.
What is I mean, do you don't think that they have a good connection with Marvin Harrison Jr.? What was his number? What did he have a good game this week? Because like a couple of weeks ago, they were saying, "Oh, he's got potential to be the number one rookie receiver of the year." I mean, we know that's not happening now, but what I'm saying, it was true a couple of weeks ago. We still got a long way to go in the season.
Yeah. Also on my fantasy team, and no, he did not have a good game. I want to say he had two. He had 2 to 3 catches for like 50 yards. Kyler's definitely trying to give him the ball, but you talked about it earlier in the season. Arizona doesn't really have a lot of weapons.
They don't.
Your best, this tight end they got is supposed to be good, but outside of that tight end, your best offensive weapon is a rookie. Um, and then you just got a bunch of guys that catch balls. So on the defense, same thing. You got Buda Baker, but outside of him, you just got a bunch of guys that are making plays. But nothing blows you away by Arizona. They're just an average, tough team. not they're not gonna roll over, but they will put up a fight. And if Kyler Murray decides to have a good game, then they're pretty good. Uh, Las Vegas went to Denver. Oh man, sometimes I'm so convincing, man. I get people to come to my side, and I was all in on the Denver bandwagon. I told you I was moving my bags on there, and then they they were giving three, and then lo and behold, I look behind me, and Bruce is right behind me, putting his stuff on the bandwagon. Putting his bags in the bandwagon. He got the
Right.
he got everything. He got his stuff all packed. But that Denver defense went out there. I saw I saw a tweet that said Denver had the first white cornerback to get an interception in like decades. But no, man,
Don't
that Denver
tell me. Don't
uh,
tell me. It was
nah,
just Deshaun.
that guy's a bust. That guy's a bust. Thank God. But yeah, that guy's a bust. No, this is Riley Moss. But yeah, Denver went out there and they handled the Raiders.
Yeah, man. You are absolutely right, man. Hey, man, I doubted Denver, man. I thought they were the same Denver of last year, and you can only doubt a team for so long. And when they show you that they're here to play for real, that so you can only doubt them so long before you got to put your faith in them. And yeah, man, bags are packed, and I hopped on the bandwagon, man. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, man. I really hate to say it, but the same thing goes for the Vikings, man. I can no longer bet against the Vikings. They are 5-0. They were moments away from being the only undefeated team in the league until Kansas City pulled it together in that second half of that game and finally put New Orleans away. But yeah, man, I'm all aboard on Denver. It's going to take a lot of convincing I mean, so it's going to take a lot of convincing to get me off that bandwagon right now.
Not as shocking as Arizona beating San Francisco, but still quite shocking. Might be more of a shocking to you though. The New York Giants went to Seattle. Seattle was given 7, and not only did the New York Giants cover, they won that game.
Yeah, man. So very shocking, very very shocking. As because I was working when I was working during these games, so I went to go check the score of the Seattle game. I even had money on that game, and I feel easy game to make money off of. And when I saw the score and the stats, I was like, no way, my phone is broken. Let me check another source and make sure that what I'm saying is wrong because I know it is. But no. Seattle decided why play today? You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to play every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We deserve a Sunday off. And they took the Sunday off and they did the uncomprehensible. They let the Giants win the game. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, man. I don't know what to say about that game.
Yeah. No Malik Neighbors. That was the deciding factor for me. But I gave it a little more feasibility than you did. I wouldn't have thought they would win. I would at least thought they might have covered. Simply because the Seahawks played so hard on Monday night against the Lions, and their defense was still going into that game. Their defense was still banged up. Uh, I think they only got like one. I was saying I think they only got like 1 or 2 players back for that game on their defense. So I was more open to the idea, but I would have never guessed that they would have lost that game. Like I said, to the Giants with no Malik Neighbors. Uh, Daniel Jones had a good game. They were on their backup running back. He went out there, ran for 129 yards. Darius Slayton Darius Slayton is an underrated receiver. He's just always been stuck with the Giants, but he'll go out there and he'll give you a couple good games. He had 122 yards and a touchdown, so Giants pulled one out.
Yeah, one stat that did surprise me, man, and to your point, that someone was saying that the Lions defense and the Seattle offense played 99 snaps that game. So yeah, to your point, they may have been tired, and it was later in the week. So to your point, yeah, man, they might have still been recovering from the game before.
Green Bay went to LA to take on the Rams. We were both on Green Bay. Um, I think Matthew Stafford threw another interception in the game. Uh, Not a whole lot to say about it, but yeah, Green Bay. This is the game I had money on. I had money on the over, but it was kind of a lackluster game. But Green Bay pulled it out.
Yeah, man, no questions here, man. No questions about it here. Until the Rams get some weapons, they're gonna have a hard time this season. It was surprising that they won the San Francisco game a couple of weeks ago. Matthew Stafford needs some weapons, man, and he just not gonna do it with.
I mean, oh man, if I had $1 for every time I heard that one.
When he's got Cooper Cup and he's got Puka Nakua out there, he'd be rolling. But you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna do it by himself, man.
Yeah, I would say that this is the most. If I had $1 for every time I heard that, I'd be rich. But I would say that right now that's an accurate statement, opposed to when he was in another town and all everybody wanted to do was give him this, give him that, and if you give him this and give him that, then he'll win. But that's neither here nor there. All right. So, uh, I should have put money on this game. I was so confident in this game, and turns out it was valid confidence. Dallas went to Pittsburgh on Sunday Night Football, and I think my words were Dallas will go out there. They'll beat Pittsburgh Steelers team that has a good record at the moment, and people will be like, "Oh man, Dallas is back." The only thing I would say is that people were more so concerned about CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott and what they said to each other after an interception. But all that being said, Dallas went out there. They won the game at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and Pittsburgh, Justin Fields, which I feel like I said, Justin Fields got hurt, um, and I said that at some point Justin Fields is going to get hurt, and they're going to use that as an opportunity to implement Russell Wilson back into the offense. I don't even know who they put in once Justin Fields got hurt. I think it was like Kyle Allen or something. I don't know who he is, but yeah, they lost that game.
Yeah, man. I caught a little bit of that game. There's no way I was staying up to watch that game. Awful game. Um, uh, both teams went out there and just said, "I bet I could play worse than you can," and the Steelers won. They they played a worse game than Dallas. And I mean, it just I didn't have any faith in Dallas that game, but they pulled it out, man. The Steelers are just I think they need weapons too, man. I mean, besides they have what Kenny Pickett, right?
George Pickens.
Yeah, George Pickens. That's what I always get that name confused. George Pickens. And beyond that, I mean, Najee Harris, and and Justin Fields is their main guy. I wouldn't even put George Pickens as their main guy. Justin Fields is their main guy, and he can't do it to himself. So, and then on the other side of that, it's just Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Like like I saw Zeke running the ball for God's sake. I mean, in what world is Zeke still running the ball? But you know
Jerry,
what I'm saying?
Jerry Jones' world.
It was not
Nah,
a good game. It
I,
was not a
I,
good game. Cowboys are not back.
the Cowboys are not back. No, no. But I said that this will be a fool's gold game where they will win, and people would use this as an opportunity to say that they're back. Um, you know me, I'm a huge fantasy football guy, and because I am, I be knowing the most obscure offensive players in football. And when you said who do they have besides George Pickens, I honestly couldn't tell you one other receiver on that team. Um, I could tell you most teams third, fourth string receiver, but I cannot tell you their second receiver. I know they have a tight end, Pat Fryermuth. He's a decent tight end. But yeah, as far as weapons, yeah, man, I'm with you on that. You know, if Devontae Adams wanted to, Devontae Adams needs that ball. And if he wanted to go somewhere where they need to get the ball to somebody, in a bad way, then he should be, petitioning to get sent to Pittsburgh. It's unlikely it will happen, but yeah, that would be a great landing spot for him because they got plenty of balls to send his way.
Or the Rams.
No, I'm not with you on that because, like you said, at some point you got two All Pro receivers coming back, and you know I think one of your favorite players once said, "Hey, I didn't come here to be part of a committee."
speaking of the Steelers though, man, I just left out and I just saw a report. They are bringing they are letting Russell Wilson come back and practice with the team this week. He is going to be able to suit up. But the thing about it is, they said that he's practicing with the second team, essentially the practice squad. So even though they made a big story about it, that doesn't necessarily mean he'll be starting this week. Justin Fields is still practicing with the first team. I highly doubt that we'll see him out there. But to your point, they are making plans. It seems like they are making plans to at least get him acclimated to start to bring him back. But like I said last week, man, them starting Russell Wilson over Justin Fields, barring injury, will be the worst mistake they can make.
Um, they told us at the beginning of the year that Russell Wilson was going to be the starter, and out of the blue, Russell Wilson comes up with an injury before the first game, and Justin Fields gets to take the field. And I think they've been slowly helping Russell Wilson along for whatever reason. Maybe they just didn't want him to go a whole season. Maybe they felt that he would be better to only play so much of the season. But for whatever reason, I feel like the plan is at some point to get Russell Wilson out there, and whether it be injury or a bad game or whatever it is, but at some point, Steelers fans will see Russell Wilson out there.
I feel like I don't know. This is just a guess or a prediction. Russell Williams is going to come out. He's going to have one one hell of a game, and Steeler fans are going to be like, "Oh, Russell Williams, the greatest thing. We should have been starting him." And then he's going to proceed to play horrible for the rest of the season.
I would expand that out a little bit more, but all in all, I pretty much agree with you. Uh, New Orleans went to Kansas City. Uh, I just thought New Orleans was just so scrappy. Um, if the offensive coordinator for New Orleans would have told me that their game plan for that game going in was to bomb that ball 30 yards downfield every drive, I might have not have went with New Orleans on that one. But I went with New Orleans. You took Kansas City. You said you wasn't going against Kansas City. That was the right move. Kansas City cover 5.5.
Yeah, man. Kansas City always finds a way to win, man. They actually played good this week, though, man. I will give them that. They actually had that. This is the best I've seen them look all season long. But to your point, man, Alvin Kamara was killing it out there, man. If they had ran more plays to him, I think they would have had a better chance in that game. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was getting beat up because the only time I actually seen him moving the ball was when Kamara had the ball in his hands. I mean, and they had to take him off the rest at some point in the game. But yeah, man, I think the game plan should have been find Alvin Kamara because Olave has no hands.
Yeah, to your point, the Chiefs looked great last night. No Rasheed Rice. Who's gonna step up? Um, you know, I'm like, well, maybe Travis Kelsey will step up, and sure enough, Travis Kelsey did step up. But Juju Smith-Schuster,
Juju,
um, I mean, oh my goodness, he I don't know. I mean, it's just it's like the Patriots. It's like the old Patriots with Tom Brady. People would just go to the Patriots and they would always be okay or not good, look like they washed up, and then they would just rejuvenate their career with the Patriots. And that's what Juju looked like last night. Kareem Hunt. They grabbed Kareem Hunt off the street. I think he ran for 100 yards. I made a vow last week that the Kansas City Chiefs would not be in the Super Bowl this year. Um, but that was like you said, that was the best that they looked. And on the flip side, New Orleans, they definitely had an opportunity to at least be in that game. But the first drive of the game, Derek Carr threw the ball up for grabs in the double coverage, 30 yards downfield, and it got intercepted, and that was just it was like, wait, there's more, and and he proceeded like I don't know, it almost looked like he thought he had an offsides free play on like every drive of that game because he just kept throwing it up there in the double coverage. I don't know my man's name, Rashid Khalid, my man. I can't even think of his name right now, but he just kept bombing that, and I just didn't understand what that game plan was until he finally got hurt and he had to go sit down somewhere.
yeah, man. It was an interesting game, man. Like you said, New Orleans had a big chance to be in it. They threw that game away, man. Like you said,
Oh, and the interception by the defensive lineman, that was beautiful. I don't think they did anything with that.
did they do anything with that?
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think they did it. They drove pretty far, but they didn't get nothing out of that, did they?
I mean, he got 40 yards for him, and I don't think they even did anything with that.
Yeah, yeah, and that actually saved the game for them because if they had scored there, that would have been game right there. But they tried to do something. I think at the end of that drive that lineman had that interception. I think that's the play where Derek Carr went down and came out of the game, and it was a wrap from there anyway.
Yeah. So, did I update that? I don't even remember. I don't think I did. No, I didn't. So yeah, with that being said, it was it was it was good. It was an average week. I went 7-6. You went 6-7. That puts us at 35 and 41 apiece. So we tied.
Sweet. I mean, I would love to be 500, but